Alright guys, what's up? PDC here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys and commentating over my finals game for World Cup of Pokemon. Last time I was in a finals game was an SPL finals, which I got obliterated in, but this time we're going to hopefully see if I can turn it around, because I am actually not weak to Manaphy this time, and there is no Manaphy, Scizor, Alakazam on the opposing side of the field, so who knows, maybe this time will turn different. But this is a very important game. This is in the World Cup of Pokemon Finals for the trophy. This was the game that would tie it up to ensure that at the very least we would tie Spain and force a tiebreak in case they won 5 games in a row. And I'm going to be bringing quite an odd team. I'm going to be bringing a Gastrodon balanced or bulky offenses team. And it was really just built in about an hour before our game, and Reiku decided to bring a team with Hippowdon, Skarmory, basically Spikes balanced with Volcarona and Altaria, Starmie for spinning, Clefable for maybe a Calm Mind Sweep, and Hippo and Skarm for hazard support and acting as good physical walls, and Altaria as probably either a bulky Heal Bell or a fresh variant. So we're going to start the game off. Right from the start, I can see he's incredibly weak to stuff like SD Gliscor, Thundurus, and Charizard X. So he's going to probably, what I was scared of, I was afraid he would actually T-Wave the Charizard turn 1, which he does decide to go for. I did not want to get my Charizard paralyzed, and I ended up going out to my Gliscor, and I figure that he's not going to be knockoff. I was worried that he was. And I'm going to get my Poison up turn 1. Now, I realize that he's probably not going to keep this in, and he's probably going to go to his Skarmory to maybe get some layers of Spikes up, and it completely walls the Gliscor. So I decided to pull a double out and go out to my Charizard. Now, at this point, he has no idea if I'm DD or I'm not DD, so he decides to switch to his Altaria, which turns out has Cloud 9. So this Wisp, at least from what I can tell at the moment, is going to keep it permanently burned, because he's lacking Natural Cure. He probably does have Heal Bell or Refresh, but at the very least, he's going to have to reveal that part of his set if he wants to get rid of the status. So either way, it's perfectly fine for me. So he's going to switch out to his Clefable here. I'm in a pretty good position, and I just decided to go for the Flare Blitz. I didn't see a reason to not to. If he was Facade, that'd be a little dangerous, but the Flare Blitz paid off, and I do a shit ton to the Clefable. And this is obviously going to force him to switch out and probably go to either his Starmie or his Hippowdon. And he decides to go to his Starmie to go ahead and tank the Flare Blitz. And I was really worried because he had the Volcarona, and if you guys know, I have a pretty big tendency for getting swept by Volcarona. So what I quickly realized was, okay, I probably should not keep my Charizard in here, as generally speaking, Charizard has kind of a, it's at risk with Starmie, because Starmie can carry Thunder Wave or Toxic or something like that. So I decided to go to my Gliscor, which really doesn't take too much from Scald, and it's immune to both Thunder Wave and Toxic. And I decided to catch it on the Hippo switch and go for the Swords Dance. Now, he's going to go ahead and set up rocks, which are kind of annoying, but I can defog to get them away, and I just decided to go straight for the knockoff on the switch, because it was either he Whirlwinds or he switches to something else, and regardless of that play, knockoff was the good move to get rid of an item. So I knock off the Skarm's Rocky Helmet, and I realized that, okay, Skarmory is I guess it's kind of annoying, but generally speaking, I can probably just get a defog off here, or he's going to Whirlwind me out, depending on what he does, and it turns out he decides to set up Spikes, so this is a pretty free defog for me right here. And if he decides to attack me or something like that, or taunt or whirlwind me, I'm really not that phased, because he can't get up rocks, and rocks are really the only hazard that bothers his team. So I am going to get the defog off, and he is going to go for the Iron Head. Iron Head does absolutely nothing, and it's pretty apparent that I can easily roost that off. Now, Reiku is a pretty good player, and he knows what he's doing, so what he's going to try to do here is go out to his Hippowdon, which is probably either fully specially defensive, just judging from that, and try to get the rocks back up immediately, because he knows how much rocks pressure my team. And Reiku told me later, well, didn't tell me, but I figured it out later, that he was actually a fully specially Hippowdon. At least I think that's what he was. So he's not fearing Draco Meteor too much. So he's gonna set up the rocks here, and I figure, well, okay, I didn't at the time, because of the roll that Psyshock did, I didn't know he was fully specially, so I figured he'd still be afraid of Draco. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably go for the defog here, because I didn't see much of a reason to go for the Draco Meteor. And getting the hazards off the field once again is very key, because Stealth Rock is very annoying. Now, Psyshock is still going to KO this Clefable, so I figure he's not going to stay in and sack it. But instead, he decides to go out to his Starmie, which I thought was, I guess that was an okay enough play. I mean, I get him with the Psyshock, and here I'm like a little worried. I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to get this Toxic or not, or if I can cover here. But I realize that Latios can probably defog regardless, and he's going to switch out his Starmie anyway, and he's going to go back to his Skarm, I guess expecting the Draco Meteor, and I feel pretty comfortable recovering on this, because I realize that keeping Starmie alive is pretty key for him, especially considering how it is a Wisp Bulky Zard check, although it gets really annoyed if it loses his leftovers and gets burned plus Flamethrower, but I'm going to decide to go to Zard X here, and he's going to decide to go for the Roost. Now, without his Rocky Helmet, I mean, this is, going to scare it out completely. I'm not going to die from Flare Blitzing it or anything like that. So, I figure this is pretty much a free Roost, and having Charizard at full HP is pretty much key to winning this game, because it's a really big threat to his team, and it's really my only check to Volcarona. I guess Thunder Wave on Thundurus can act as a check too, but I realize that Charizard X is the best route to keep that thing from being a gigantic threat. Now, I go to Gliscor here again instead of Gastrodon, because like I said, I do not want to get Gastrodon Toxic, which also does a huge amount of damage to this guy's team. And I know that Gliscor can beat a bulky Starmie 1v1, so he's going to decide to go ahead and switch out Starmie again and go back into his own Skarm. I decided to just go for the knockoff straight. I'm really not that phased by Skarmory here. I'm going to switch out my Gliscor, and I have plenty of options to switch in. So I decided to go out to my Thundurus here, my Gangizza. Gangizza? Yeah, Gangizza. That doesn't sound right. Gangizza. Gengar. The Gangizza. Jizza from the Wu-Tang Clan? But, yeah, you guys know what I'm saying. But he's going to go out to a Starmie here, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the HP Ice, predicting the Powdon. This was a good play on Raikou. He was playing very stellar this game, and as you can tell in the coming plays, this is why I think Raikou's a great player. He was a very worthy opponent. He goes for the Scald, predicting me to HP Ice the Powdon, which was, like I said, that's a very good play on his part. Luckily, I do not get burned, and I realize that I can scare this thing out, probably. And I don't think he's going to stay in again this time. I don't know what he's going to go to, because he can go to his Volk, possibly, if it's really bulky. Although it's probably safest to just go to a Powdon or something like that. And Raikou does make all the right plays here, and he's going to go ahead and go out to his Powdon. Now, figuring he would do that, I decided to go out to my Stone Face Killer 22 Gastrodon. And Gastrodon is actually a really big threat to his team. If his Starmie doesn't have Toxic, this can act, and his Volk doesn't have Giga Drain, this can actually pretty much just win the entire game by its own. Actually, maybe Altaria can kind of beat it, but I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and hit the Hippowdon with the Scald. I am going to get the burn, so I guess that's a little lucky on my part, especially considering how he didn't get the burn with Starmie. But he's going to switch the Powdon out, and expecting this, I am going to decide to go for the Curse. Yes, you heard me. This is a Curse Gastrodon. A really interesting set, it really is. Curse Gastrodon is something that TDK came up with, and it is incredibly valuable. Now, he is going to go for the knockoff, which really surprised me, considering this is now a knockoff T-Wave Moonblast Clefable. I do go for the Scald there. I think I was predicting him to go back to Skarmory as soon as he saw the Curse to roll me out, but he's just going to go for the Moonblast here. I didn't want him to recover on me. I guess he was it would have been a little wiser for me maybe to recover instead of just go for the kill, because then I could have kept Gastrodon on a much higher health. If I recovered there, that might have been a bit better, but Clefable is going to go down, and now he's going to go out to his Volcarona. Now, realizing that I cannot afford to let this thing sweep, I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake, and as I see him Quiver Dancing, I see, okay, this thing has leftovers, because I hit it with the Earthquake. And Leftovers Quiverland's Volk, Leftovers Quiverland's Volk does not carry Giga Drain, or it's very unlikely that it does. And when I see it use Bug Buzz, I know that this game is in my side of the court. I kill the biggest threat to my team. The rest of his team is just so incredibly passive and can't really break my team unless it has full hazards on the field. And hazards aren't really that hard to eliminate, considering that I do have a Defogger on my side, which does quite a bit of damage to his Hippowdon. I am just going to sacrifice Gastrodon here since I don't really see a point. I would have been... I could have saved it and defogged and then switched on Starmie later, or maybe even Skarmory. But I didn't really see the need, especially considering I was playing extremely careful here. Like, just in case he had Fire Blast, DD, Altaria, I wanted to keep everything 100% healed. And we're going to see him go to his Altaria here, and he's going to go ahead and heal Bell, but I'm going to hit him with a Gyro Ball. Luckily, Gyro Ball still does a shit ton to this guy, so that's really good for me. Now, I honestly predicted him to go to Starmie here, but I was kind of wanted to play it safe. Honestly, playing it safe, I think it was a bad play on my part. I really do. I should have Power Whipped there. Like, that was really stupid of me for not Power Whipping. If I did Power Whip there, then this game would have ended pretty much right here. But the game's going to go on a little longer because I chickened out and didn't Power Whip. Power Whipping was really a no-risk move considering he could not hurt me with Altaria at all. But I did want to conserve Gyro Balls, and any waste of them I wanted to make sure it didn't occur. So he's going to go for the Scald, and because I'm lucky, he's not going to burn. And this is pretty much a free defog. His Altaria is weakened, and his Starmie being the best Latios check is really not that great. And I'm leech seeded, so I'm not going to be really taking any damage or losing any health. So I decide, well, okay, I think I'm just going to go for the defog here. Getting rid of hazards is a top priority, and keeping them off the field is really good for me. So I'm going to go ahead and call my Latios back, and I'm going to go out to my Raikyon once again, my Charizard X. And he's going to go for the Iron Head. He's not even going to bother setting up spikes. And Charizard is 100% free here, and I realize that at the health everything is at, this is pretty much a guaranteed kill with Flare Blitz. So I'm going to Flare Blitz to the Powder, and I'm going to be able to take it out. Charizard X isn't needed 100% anymore for Volk, but it's still very important to keep around because it can handle Starmie and it can handle Starmie and Skarmory. It can handle both of them. I get the names mixed up. And he's going to bring in a Starmie, which is really his only check to the Charizard at this point. And I'm going to decide to go with a Gliscor because I really do not want a Latios or anything being burned. And what happens in the following turns is really just a complete sequence of him scalding and me basically roosting it off, eventually knocking him off, him recovering it off, him scalding me, and then me Swords Dancing and him critting me, which really, it got me a little heated at first, but in the end, it really didn't matter. So I just decided to go for the Draco here out of the gate. And we're going to do quite a bit of damage to that Skarmory. I want to do as much as possible. I figured Draco could have had the chance to 2 KO Skarmory. I think it might have had a little special defense investment, but I don't really know. So I'm going to go ahead and call my Latios back, and I'm going to go straight out to my Gangizza, my Thunderous Gangizza. I'm just going to call it Jizza. The Genius, whatever. Yo, Rizza. Anyway, it's a free Thunderbolt kill, whatever I do, so I managed to get rid of the Skarmory, and now it's pretty much a wrap. So he's going to go to his Starmie here, and I'm going to go ahead and decide to keep my Thunderous just in case I need it for T-Wave, although that's kind of illogical. I bet I could have just sacked there and maybe not risked the burn. But he's going to go for the Scald, and he's going to not burn me once again, and I figure Latios is going to clean this game up pretty nicely. He's going to go for the Recover, and I'm going to go for the Draco. But it doesn't kill, so I'm kind of sitting here like, this can get a little annoying. I don't really want to deal with this Starmie. Because considering, I was really surprised that Draco Meteor did not kill. Like, I was really just sitting there like, what? That's a freaking Latios Life Orb Draco Meteor. That shit really not kill. But regardless, I'm just gonna go out to my Charizard here, and as long as he does not crit me with Scald on Charizard once again, I should be home free. So you're just gonna see another sequence of me going for Roost, roosting up to as much HP as I possibly can to avoid the crit, wisping him, and basically trying to beat him with the Charizard. He's going to go ahead and get Wisp here, predicting the Recover, and considering I'm at really basically no risk for him critting me at that point, I figured I was in at least a good range. I was going to probably be able to bring the game home. You're going to see me constantly roosting over and over again at this point. I really didn't have any other option to do, and considering this was the best route to win, it was, what I was going to do. So it's just going to be boring from here out. You're going to see him trying to scald me, and him Earthquaking, Flare Blitzing, or whatever, trying to attack and kill him. And basically, that's the game. This is it, guys. This is the World Cup of Pokemon Finals. Me versus Reiku, the guy who was 6-0, undefeated before this, and I managed to break his streak. And I also managed to keep up our win streak against Spain. So that's it, guys. You're going to see the ending turns here. He's going to bring in his Altaria. I'm going to go for the Leech Seed on him. And with Leech Seed plus Gyro Ball on Altaria's back, there is literally no way that this Pokemon can beat my team at this point. So he's gonna Dragon Dance, but he knows it's over because Altaria can no way manage to beat Ferrothorn with Leech Seed, because you're gonna see from that calc, no matter what he does, it's over. And that's it. So good game, Raikou. It was really fun fighting you. You're a good friend of mine, and so is everyone else on Spain. A lot of those guys I really like and help me out a lot. But that's it. I'm gonna have to take you out for this time. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. This was a really tense match to play. I was ecstatic. I was freaking the fuck out the entire game. But thank you for watching, and if you watched it live, that'd be even better. You would probably have seen the chat freaking out when I used Curse on Gastrodon. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thanks to all the guys who came, you know, from Blunder as well. I forgot to thank you guys, or actually I might not thank you guys, but stick around if you want. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Subscribe, like the video, and I'm out.